Good morning, everybody. Forgive me for still being in my pajamas, but I have been doing a lot of channeling this morning, and I have a lot more information for the authorities. Okay, so there's a lot of incest in the Roberts family. Um, Sandy Emerson and David Emerson are cousins. Yeah, they're cousins. Um, so my parents are cousins. My, you know, so-called parents. My brother Dale is a product of incest, which may be why he's so not right. This is how they're related. Isabel Lane Berry, my grandmother, was Ellen Burt, my dad David Emerson's sister. My grandma didn't know a lot about her family. They, as she put it, sent her from pillar to post. They moved her around. She went with so many different aunts and uncles, and I mean, the poor girl. She was just a little girl when her mom died. That she didn't know where she came from. She didn't know a lot about her past. My grandmother was basically in the same situation that I'm in, where she was constantly kept in a worked up situation, um, constantly under a lot of stress. When she married my grandpa, Martin Lane, when grandpa came back from the war, she said he was different, which, I mean, we all know what war does to a person, or at least we should know. Um, she was kept in a lot of instability. She was depressed. She was stressed. She was addicted to painkillers. She was being stalked. My grandma used to talk about being watched by the FBI, which was her way of saying that she was always watched. She couldn't go anywhere and do anything without somebody knowing where she was, what she was doing, how she was doing it. She always felt like she was being watched no matter where she went. Um, to the person asking me the question, why? The reason I share so much about my family is because my family has tried to unalive me pretty much my whole life. I have been a trafficked person pretty much my whole life. And 2 years ago, they tried to traffic me again. They tried to unalive me. Yes, way. That's why. That's why I'm sharing this. My dad's family, the Roberts family, they are human traffickers. They've been human traffickers for a very long time. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back. And I'm just going to follow the notes that I made as I was channeling so that I can keep my mind straight. First, let me tell you, Bob Robert Berry, who was present when my mother was unalived, was a cop at the time that this happened. That would be why I haven't gone to the cops, because there are so many people involved. Judges, lawyers, police officers. And when I did go to the cops, I wasn't believed. Purposely, I'm sure. Okay, anyways. Marvy, my Aunt Marvy. Was the person in the room when my mother was unalived. She was there. Marvell Matthews is Marvell Kipman. Marvy Kipman. The same person. My cousin Eddie's mom. Dave and Sandy Emerson were friends of my father, Henry Kipman. Sandy was extremely jealous of my mother. She was jealous of her beauty, and she was jealous that I was born out of love, because my brother was born out of rape, an incestuous rape is how my brother was born. I am 6 months older than my brother. Dave and Sandy had to get married in order to make their lie work that I was their child. There was a woman that I've mentioned in past videos named Genevieve that my grandfather had an affair with on my grandma. Genevieve was a cousin to Ellen Burt, my dad's mom. It's all tying in together. Everything ties into the Roberts family. What's happening to me happened to my grandmother, Isabel. Sheila Roach Kalsovic is involved in human trafficking. Teresa Roach, her sister, was a sacrifice in order for Sheila to rise. Sheila makes money in this trafficking by taking women to handlers. Brenda Vaughn, who claims to be extremely religious, pays for people to be trafficked. Then once they're trafficked, she gets her money back double. Irma Aldrich, Brenda Vaughn's mom, is also somebody who pays to have people trafficked. Ginger Rick, Brenda Vaughn's daughter, is another person who gets paid to take women to handlers. My cousin Rhonda Matthews, my cousin Eddie's sister, Marvy and Jean Matthews' daughter, was also a sacrifice. She was raped many times. She has gone into hiding. Here's something. Ellen Burt is Tommy Dean Sr.'s mother. David and Tommy and Sandy are cousins. I told you my mom and Tommy were related. I told you. I knew it. I could tell by the eyes. I knew they were related somehow. They're cousins. Ellen Burt had 9 children by 6 different men, and all of these men that she was involved with were human traffickers. Before I left for Tennessee, Irma Aldridge, Brenda Vaughn, and Ginger Rick, all came to my mom and dad's house. I was invited to come over. I went over to the house and, met with everybody. I thought it was, a family reunion, whatever. They actually came to my parents' house because it was a setup for Irma and Brenda to pay my parents $9 million to have me trafficked, which is the money that ended up in the overseas accounts that I've talked about previously. Ginger Rick's part in all of this was to contact Tommy Dean as my handler. That's how Tommy Dean came into this, is they called him to be my handler. Now, I asked about the $9 million because to me that seems pretty excessive. That seems like a large amount of money. Well, the fact is the reason why that it is such a large amount of money is because of my gifts. That's why I was worth so much money. I asked what the typical amount of money is for a person when they're trafficked, and typically it's about $50,000 for a person to be trafficked. They pay $50,000 to have this person trafficked. Once this person is trafficked, whether that be sexually or organs, they get back double what they paid. I asked how Kathy Ardwin was brought into this. Kathy Ardwin was being paid monthly to keep an eye on me by my parents. She was being paid approximately $3,500 a month to keep an eye on me. And this is all coming out of my inheritance from my biological father, Henry Kipman, by the way, that these things are being paid for. Yeah, my own money is being paid for my so-called best friend to keep an eye on me. Sandy Davis, Kathy Ardwin's mom, had no idea that they were paying me this kind of money. Kathy always cried poor mouth so that she could get anything and everything from anybody she could. She was always the, oh, poor me, I've had such a hard life. My husband was mean to me. He was a bad father. He you know the type. Which reminds me that Kathy Ardwin has a drug dealer by the name of Dallas, who Kathy Jo got $60,000 from for the exchange with my brother Dale for the key to Henry Curran's house. She fully thought that the inheritance with Hanko was going to go through, so she had no problem borrowing this $60,000 from her drug dealer. But when that didn't happen, she had to pay back Dallas the $60,000. And I believe her mom, Sandy Davis, put up the money on her house to do so. Who's Sandy Emerson? Sandy Emerson is the woman who killed my biological father and kidnapped me and raised me, if you want to call it that, as her own child. That's who Sandy Emerson is. There was Sandra, Sandy, same diff. A man named Wayne Roberts that I dated. Wayne Roberts was a cousin to Dave and Sandy Emerson. See how this is all tying in? My ex-husband, John Stapleton, is a second cousin to Dave and Sandy Emerson. This all stems from the Roberts family. The Roberts family in Colorado. Bill Roberts, Don Roberts, Jerry Roberts, Olive Roberts. This whole family is human traffickers, as well as the Pierce family, whom my mother was involved with in Buena Vista, Colorado. The Pierce family is another human trafficking family that killed their own daughter for telling her boyfriend that her family was a cult and they trafficked people. Jodi Pierce is not alive. She's buried in the same yard with my mother. I don't have anything to do with these people. No, I don't have anything to do with these people. I am trying to get justice. And that's why I'm speaking out. That's why I have this YouTube. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because I am not only going to get justice for myself, I'm going to get justice for my mother. I'm going to get justice for that young man that was murdered because my family decided that they needed to off him because he knew that they were human traffickers. I'm getting justice for Jodi, who was murdered because she knew her family was traffickers. And I am getting justice for every single person who has ever been trafficked. I am getting justice for us. I'm getting justice for my cousin Rhonda, and I'm getting justice for my cousin Teresa. And I'm going to get justice for every single person that I possibly can, because I am not going to stop until this is done. I will not stop until I get to the bottom of all of this disgusting disgusting family's secrets. And I'm going to keep asking questions, and I'm going to keep telling the truth. And there are people out there, important people out there, that know with certainty that what I am saying is the truth. When I said my life was like that movie, oh shoot, what is the name of that movie? With Jim Carrey. The something show. The Turner Show. The Turner Show. When I said my life was like the Turner Show, it couldn't be more truthful. Every person that's been put in my life has been put in my life for a reason, for a purpose, to further the agenda of these human traffickers, to keep me from doing what I'm supposed to do. But you didn't keep me from doing it, now did you? Because here I am doing it. And there you are, sitting there, afraid, caught, your lies coming out. People finding out the truth about what you've done, who you've done it to. I know that I have stopped 2 people from a lot of trafficking. I know that I have put dents in your pocketbooks. And I know that God has created a terrific amount of natural disasters in order to put you people in a position where you cannot pay to have others trafficked. I am working hand in hand with my Father God to stop you. And that's exactly what I'm supposed to do. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. That's what I'm doing. I am sure there's a lot more that I'm going to uncover. But for today, I think I'm going to stop because it is very tiring to channel like that. And I need a minute to rest. So, authorities, this is how it all ties in. My grandmother wasn't crazy. She was being watched. Ellen Burt was her sister, my so-called dad's mom. It all ties in. It all ties in. The Smith Holler in Kentucky, my dad, David Emerson, said that his family, Grandma Roberts, was from the Smith Holler in Kentucky, which is ironically the same place that my husband, John Stapleton, said that his family is from. So there you have it. All right, well, I'm going to go for now. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Love each other. Love yourselves. And you know that I love you. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day.